You know what, guys? I am officially giving up, okay? I cannot reach 22 million damage with a free-to-play team on this damn boss, okay? The radiant damage one. I've tried quite a few different things, and this is, of course, without using any legendary heroes, without using any legendary artifacts, okay? As soon as I'm changing these two factors, the whole thing transforms, okay? It's a completely different story. But as a free-to-play, I find it pretty much impossible to reach 22 million damage. Maybe I just do something wrong, but let me know in the comments down below if you manage, as free-to-play, without legendary heroes, without legendary artifacts, to reach 22 million damage on this boss, you know? I feel like he just does a bit too much. He deals too much damage, and adding everything else that he does with his kit next to it, he's too OP. So if the developers are watching this by any chance, just turn it down a notch, you know, make it a bit more accessible. Now, true, we are currently just on the Lunar Halo event. This is not the Otherworld event where we're gonna gain the Alliance bonus stats, and that should make this boss a bit easier. But my main problem is that I just don't have enough damage. And slowly I am struggling with the survivability too past a certain point. Now the Psychic Core, guys, is not maxed on my actual account, because this is a test server, is much better because I have the damage reduction maxed, I have the resistance maxed, but here is actually weaker, and that's a good thing, because you can see that you have this maxed for damage, but the rest is not, you know. So probably a lot of you guys are in this situation, at least if you are in the third week with this challenge, you know. If you're on the first week, you should be getting close to maxing at least one of them. It really depends what elemental affinity path you picked, you know. What's your main team so far? But that being said, let's go back to the boss, you know. So I'm quickly gonna explain you what this hero does, you know. And basically, he deals a lot of damage, but at the same time, he has these annoying skills that remove buff, drop ultimate energy. So he has this skill. The hero takes 30% less fire damage. Additionally, when the hero takes fire damage, there is a chance of recharging his ultimate energy and gaining defense up, you know. Then you have this skill. Sprays flames that burn enemies within range, each time dealing fire damage with a chance of inflicting attack penalty. Now, the flames also backfire on the hero, dealing fire damage to himself. So every time he's using this skill, basically he has a chance to trigger the passive, which gives him ultimate energy, which makes him already super annoying, right? Then you have the ultimate, which, by the way, can be dodged. I'm gonna show you exactly how to do it. I will try a few different sort of combinations when we're talking about teams, builds, now really heroes. Deals fire damage to enemies within range, reducing their ultimate energy by 25%, and with a chance of dispelling all of their buffs, okay? Not very friendly, this boss, you know? So on top of that, how I mentioned, he deals a lot of damage, so that creates a bit of an issue. So I have a few different teams set up. I have this one right here, which is pretty standard. I have 3 damage dealers, but I have no decrease attack. I have no resistance on the characters either. And I have a different one with resistance on them to kind of like see how they compare. Now, if you want to dodge the ultimate attack on the boss and you want to dodge his battle skill, you gotta avoid putting champions here or here or here. So if you put one character on this top left corner, one on the bottom left corner, and one on the right bottom corner, they will not get hit by the boss. Now, the tank, because he's a melee hero, will go at the boss, okay? Then the boss will prioritize to hit the tank and Quarian with his AoE, while with the battle skill, he's only hitting Gyarius. So when he's hitting him, he has a chance to proc his passive, basically, okay? But let's actually start the run. I'm quickly gonna show you what we have in terms of build. So we have Taitlin. He has the Crown of the Unclean, and he does have a Cyril set because he's gonna land debuffs. He's going to put increased attack on my team, and he's great for it because he attacks 3 times. And he's a pretty good activator for a Radiance hero. Then I have a Welby. He's not bad at all, actually, because he will deal pretty good damage, you know, so that's a solid option as a rare champion. You don't really have many good options in here, and that's mainly because they're melee, most of them, you know, and they're just gonna get wrecked by the boss. Then you have Elvis. He doesn't deal the craziest damage. He activates some of the rally heroes. I wish I would have a better option. I tried with a rare champion. Let me just quickly find her, and because I forgot her name, but she's just doing less damage. She's a bit more underwhelming, you know, Kalis. She's just not feeling very well in the team. So this is what we're running, you know. Quarian, he has the Platinum Night Shield because that's when he gets hit by the AoE. And even like this, it's pretty hard to keep them alive. So let's put the defense aura and crack on with the run and see what sort of damage we're getting, basically, you know. Now I'm gonna show you what I did on my account, you know. Like, I've done this team right here: Huberg, Laurentil, Elton. I had Gillian as a tank, and I had Rose with no scrolls. 33 million damage, right? Like, Huberg, Elton, they deal a lot of damage. So it's a completely different story. I had a Witch's Remains. I had Rift Hourglass. So all that makes a massive difference, you know. Having a couple of legendary artifacts, having 5 legendary heroes in your team makes quite a bit of a difference. So yeah, unfortunately, with this team that I'm showing you right now, I'm getting to 11 plus million. I've got 12 plus million, but it's not gonna hit 22 million damage. The damage is just not there. Like, you see, 1 minute in, and we're barely at 3 million damage. So you have 4 more minutes. You gotta survive all 4 more minutes to get 12 more million damage, you know, and it's just not enough. That would be like a 15 plus million damage, you know, and it's just not cutting it off. You see, dropping that ultimate energy, removing the buffs from the allies, it just really puts this boss at the top of the list as being the most annoying, together with Lysenia. You know, she's very hard as well, actually. Now, I'll be very honest. Last season, my performance against the bosses was completely trash. Honestly, even towards the end, when I really kind of like dedicated some time to build the teams, I was just lacking the right heroes for this, you know. And unfortunately, I couldn't really deal 22 million damage on any of them. If I remember it correctly, I don't think I dealt 22 million damage on any of the bosses during the legendary event in season 1. Now, of course, once the Otherworld event dropped in, I was already able to drop 22 million damage, and I've done that with 5 teams. One of the teams, which was the Frost, was just not cutting it. I had a very weak support for that, you know. But at the moment, we are at 8 million damage, 2 minutes and 51 seconds, and you see, Garius is getting pretty hammered. You know, he's getting pretty hammered, and that AoE hits very hard, especially that we don't have decreased attack. It's just so hard to bring in a decreased attack in here as well now, guys, you know. It's super hard to do it. 9 million damage. Come on, let us squeeze to that 11 million. Don't kill nobody yet. And those stacks on him, you know, like, damn you, you're stacking everything too quick. You're moving too fast in here. But you see how we can dodge the attacks, basically. The battle skill doesn't hit only Garius. Then the ultimate is literally only targeting Quarian and Garius. Now, of course, this changes if, for example, you have 2 range heroes against this boss, and you don't have a tank like Garius, how I had it on my previous team that I showed you with 30 plus million damage. Then the boss is going to hit all the back row as well. It's going to hit Garius, Quarian, and Elvis. So all 3 of them, you know. But as it is right now, literally at 11 million damage, they just went down, okay? They just went down on 11 million damage. Okay. Where are we? And there we go. But hey, I can't really expect much more than this, considering that I'm trying to be as stingy as possible with the champions that I'm using, you know? Either way, pretty decent damage. He got 2.5. We got him with 6.4, you know? So the rare champion is doing in is doing some awesome work in here. Now, I do have a couple of different strategies that you guys could potentially use, but I found this one to be the most efficient one, okay? I can go with resistance. So if we're going to put resistance, for example, only on the 2 champions that are getting hit, which is Garius, right? So he needs 300 plus resistance. And then I have Quarian, 300 plus resistance as well. Keep in mind, from the Psychic Core, I have 40 more resistance, which adds up on top of this, you know? So this team will actually fail a bit more often than the other one. Will fail to reach the 11 million because they are not as tanky. Sacrificing survivability for resistance, just in the idea that, well, maybe the increased defense from Quarian, having the continuous heal there instead of being removed, might help, you know? Like you see, we're getting resisted, not dropping the ultimate energy as often. You're still gonna have a chance to get debuff no matter what. But having the ultimate energy on point for your champions as well, and allowing them to rotate their skills more often to heal, should keep your team alive more. But for whatever reason, it just seems that the trade-off from a bit of stats for resistance is just not paying off, you know? This is actually gonna go down a bit faster. But yeah, I'm officially giving up with this team, okay? Let me know in the comments down below. What is the most free-to-play friendly team that you've managed to create for this boss to reach 22 million damage? Now, it's not a necessity to reach 22 million damage. 11 million damage will do just fine because you're still getting 4 fragments for the Ardret legendary event, you know? So that is the main goal that everybody should kind of like try to aim for, you know? 22 million damage, I am considering it more of a luxury, but I'm still trying to pump some free-to-play friendly teams for you guys that might give you a shot at getting the 22 million damage, you know? Because, hey, overall it's pretty important, you know? The more the merrier, basically, you know? Where are we? Let's see. 4.3, and you see the damage is already so much from the boss, man. Like, they definitely need to turn him down just a little bit, you know? Just a little bit. If he wouldn't do all the crazy things with his skills, you know, he wouldn't be as insane, because you could bring in a different champion for a tag down. You could find a different way around it to survive and all this. But as he is right now, it's just that, man, ultimate energy, remove my buffs, get your ultimate energy up. It's just, yeah, a bit too much. So 3 minutes in, we are at 6.5 million damage. Super curious to see if we reach 11 with the resistance builds, you know. Okay, so far we're looking good. I do have the defense aura instead of the attack this time around, so that might help us a bit. You see, dropping in that triple hitter, defense down, getting rally on most of them. Hopefully he gained it right in time, which was beautiful. Okay. 7.7. We're getting close. We're getting close. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. So these are kind of like the options. Now, if you're using a Clovis instead of a Quarian for a tag down, you won't have enough healing. And that team tends to die at approximately 6, 7, 8 million damage if we're very lucky. Now, of course, you can always go and retry these teams 2, 3, 4 times, guys, because it's not a bad idea to retry them. You know, that will give you a chance to maximize your damage. But this is game over. I had a feeling. I just saw it coming. So there we go. We died at less than 10 million damage. So we are close. Maybe if we retry it again, you know, and they get to use their ultimates before the boss uses his ultimate. I feel like if he dropped the ultimate energy 2 times because he didn't go resisted, that messes up the entire tune, you know. So that brings you to this problem. But how I mentioned, I find him pretty overtuned. Now, let's actually change something that I haven't done before. We're going to take him out, okay? We're going to take Elvis out. And instead of Elvis, we're going to bring in another tank that brings attack down. You know, like if I bring a Rose, that will help a lot because we have recharge speed penalty, we have decreased attack, and now they fixed Rose, so she's much, much better for this fight. Like, she's actually going to be super good against this fight now. Let's go in like this. So I still have a defense aura. Gary is still the main tank. I have Quarian right here in the back. Oh, you're missing something. Let's see. What are you missing? But this is not a resistance build, actually. Okay, so this is not a resistance build. No, it's not. Okay. So he has decent stats. So Clovis, if you're not familiar with him, drops ultimate energy on the boss, and he puts decrease attack. So even that ultimate energy that we're dropping from him should help us a bit. Now, the only problem that we have with double tank like this is that the boss will hit both of them with his battle skill. So that will make the boss, okay, to gain more ultimate energy because of the passive. That's why I prefer to have one tank and one ranged, or just two ranged, you know. But it is what it is. With the two ranged, it is a bit harder to cover your back hero. But right now, you see he's only hitting the tank, so you don't have to worry about it too much. But again, the main issue that we have here is the lack of damage. Even though, let's just assume he will manage to survive all the way to the end, all the 5 minutes. The lack of damage now is even crazier than before because we had to drop a damage dealer to bring in a decrease attack champion. And even though I could potentially build Clovis as well to deal some damage, it just won't make up for the loss, you know. And right now we are at 2.5 million damage, 1 minute in. But this will allow you, if you're struggling with the previous team that I showed you, to bring in Clovis and maybe make that 11 million more accessible, you know. The problem is you need to use Garius here. You kind of need to use him on the Frost team, preferably, you know. So it's gonna be a rough one, man. It's gonna be a rough one. Thankfully, I'm fortunate enough to have a few legendaries. Some of the awesome legendaries for this element, you know, like Huberg is just so freaking good, and Elton too against this boss. And together with Laurentil, they're just crazy good. So yeah, guys, I am officially giving up. I am officially giving up with this damn boss. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, okay? Have you managed to do a free-to-play comp, not a free-to-play comp, and reach 22 million damage? I'm very, very curious to know that, guys. Now, in the other world event, this will be easier, okay? This will be easier because we're gonna get a lot of alliance stats, which will change quite a few things. You've probably seen the builds. There isn't much to show you guys, but I'll still quickly drop them here on the screen in case if you're curious. So that's Garius. You can quickly pause the video or take a screenshot so you can see them if you want. He has the Scarab Amulet, Ancestral Set. Then I have Clovis with the Incense Burner, and we have a Skill Haste set, basically a Cyril set and an Ancestral. Then we have Caitlyn. He is on a Cyril set, a full Cyril set, a triple Cyril set with the Crown of the Unclean. Then Elvis, he has the Manticore. He only deals damage with a battle skill, and he has an Inventor set. And we have, where is Bromley? Where are you hiding? Walby, sorry, not Bromley. Bromley is the fire one. Walby. We have Walby on an Inventor set with the Eyeball of the Giant. That was all for this video. Hopefully you found it helpful. At least the positioning should give you guys the edge that will allow you to push for higher damage. Much love, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.